we must start looking at green bond, looking at infrastructure bond like the Lagos State has done already, public-private partnership. I know there is an office in Lagos State for that also that is promoting that. And the climate resilience fund, we need to aggressively tap into that. Conceptual framework, that I know is ongoing too. So cities that succeed financially are those that recognize that infrastructure is not an expenditure, it is an investment that yields economic and social return. Lastly, Mr. Governor, one of our greatest national tragedies is that we are very good at building infrastructure, but fail to maintain them. Roads collapsed because maintenance was not institutionalized. I recall, and I don't know the practice now, Mr. Deputy Governor and Governor, the good news is that this is a continuous government from 1999, so all the story all of us know, that we were building roads that goes with maintenance packages, so that nobody needs to bother, and I think this is still very critical for our sustainability. Public buildings decay because maintenance budgets are treated as optional. Lagos needs to break this tackle. Lagos maintenance must become a policy, a culture, a budget line, and a discipline. A legacy that is not maintained certainly will end up being a relic. I remember I used to say something to Mr. Deputy Governor that not in Lagos alone, in virtually all public buildings across the nation, you hardly can use their public toilets there. Let me ignore and pretend not to know my constituency. I think we need to intervene. That needs to be intervened. Now, land governance. The complexity of land administration in Lagos remains a bottleneck. To build an inclusive legacy, land governance needs to be transformed. And I've said a lot of things in my paper of what needs to be done, or proof upon, let me put it that way, because I know Lagos has gone substantially in the digitalization of the land processes, but I've specified some other things that we need to do. Now, again, I went to the issue that the architecture, which is nearing my conclusion, that the architecture of approaches that I'm meant to speak to is not the work of government alone. And that is why all of us are here today, particularly the investors in various international countries. It involves investors who embrace long-term value over short-term profits. 2, professionals who maintain ethical standards. 3, communities that protect public assets. Of the key, the music will suffer. So what do we do? All of us here gathered today must therefore imagine a Lagos of the future. A Lagos where the blue and the red rail line extends similarly across the metropolis to the, at least like I said, to the initial 7 designed ones. A Lagos where informal settlement are transformed into dignified communities. A Lagos where developers build responsibly and nature is respected. A Lagos where drainage does not collapse because the laws are not obeyed. A Lagos where housing is not a privilege but a right. A Lagos where innovation meets tradition. A Lagos whose infrastructure outlives successive administration. A Lagos where the legacy of this generation becomes the inheritance of the next generation. This is the architect of progress. A Lagos built with purpose, guided by vision, sustained by institutions, and protected by its own people. Our children must not inherit a city that gasps for breath. They must inherit a Lagos that stands tall as African model of resilience, sustainability, innovation, and inclusiveness. This is the responsibility of our time, Mr. Governor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the legacy we must build. This is the Lagos history we applaud. Thank you very much. May Lagos continue to rise wisely, sustainably, and honorably. God bless all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moise Gwanere, SAN, OON, 3-time commissioner, and former chairman of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right to our first plenary session. We're going to be discussing how we're shaping the future of cities, regulation, real estate technology, and fiscal transformation. We're taking global insights from North America, Asia, France, Ghana, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and of course, Lagos. All right, before we Vice, the moderator, and panelists, I'd like to recognize the chairman of the Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Housing, Honorable Adebisi Ege. You're welcome, sir. Please put your hands together for him. All right, our panelists. The panel will be moderated by Mr. Olurogba Ori Malade MNI. Mr. Olurogba, please come forward now.
And the panelists for this amazing first panel set, yes, you can keep the class going, let's keep them encouraged. Mr. Saleh Tabak, founder and CEO of Andalusia Group.
First panel
Dubai.
session.
Let's keep our hands clapped for our panelists. Victoria J from Ghana, let's put our hands together, please. Honorable Emmanuel Jeffrey, the CEO of the Real Estate Agency Council Ghana. Mr. Pierre Ede, Director of Marketing and Development, Echo Atlantic City. And
Mr. Olu Amosu, who's the lead project and senior planner at Bentel Canada. Please put your hands together for each of them. Dr. Carlos Souza, Global Urban Development Strategist and Investment Coordinator.
All right, that seems to be our panel. Let's move it over to our moderator to take this brief conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Mr. Governor, Honorable Commissioners, Traditional Rulers, I would like to stand on the existing protocols, but also to appreciate our selection to be in this panel, the first panel. I'm about to start. Okay, no problem. We'll be very brief. My panelists, we don't have so much time, so I will try my best to make it as brief as possible. A lot of you have come from all over the world. I know I have 15 to 20 minutes, but it will be very unfair if I don't do this. First of all, I want to give acknowledgement to LASRERA. Okay, Sir Governor, thank you. Now, I've heard delegation, North America are here, Saudi Arabia, Ghana, but a delegation from Indonesia, 3 in number, just came in. Why am I highlighting it? Indonesia, for those that have traveled there, I know that you spend up to 24 hours to get here. They got to Abuja and they arrived, I think, late yesterday. There are 3 of them in the crowd. Please, can you stand for recognition? Leila, I'm doing a bit of your job. Can you stand for recognition? Raise your hands. So it's a world-class attendance we have here. All right, let me start by saying this. January 1st, 2026, Saudi Arabia is introducing a new law. Some of us have heard it. Foreigners now can buy property, commercial, residential in Saudi Arabia. First, the next few weeks, Dubai, I have somebody here. There's now Southern Dubai. Some months ago, Matum is building the big airport in Southern Dubai. Very deliberate. It's shifting some developments there. All of a sudden, a lot of people here are already buying property in Southern Dubai. Some years ago, title was leasehold. Now, UAE is freehold. Egypt, they've moved their state capital. They've actually created a new administrative capital. Why? Because their initial capital was populated. Some people could say as populated as Lagos. I'm not trying to insinuate we should create another state. Why is this important to set the ground? We are meant to talk on regulation, real estate technology, and fiscal transformation. These are the 3 dots. Worldwide, if you don't connect the 3 dots, you won't get foreign direct investment. Straightforward. That's why this panel is very relevant. We have big players in the room, from all over the world, and I think they've been introduced. So let me start with Mr. Saleh Tabak. You are an investor in Dubai, big-time investor, real estate developer, and I know it's the third time or second time in Nigeria.
Second time, but
second time. Fantastic. All right. Now, Dubai is known for regulatory clarity and speed. What specific regulatory frameworks would you say has most improved investor confidence in real estate? And what lessons do you think Lagos State can learn? You've had a distinguished Muniz Marire, SAN, highlight on certain things. So I think you have a good idea of the issues here. So you have the floor.
Definitely today is an example of that you are on the right track. And definitely yesterday we were in the, we are humbled to be hosted by the governor himself. And this shows that when the government is involved in supporting the private sector, that you are on the right track. So the first, answering your question, the first thing is the government sector to work closely with the private sector, which is already happening, so that we are already on the right track. The moment you decide to put Lagos in the international map, the game changes a lot because you become in competition. You mentioned something very interesting. We said the competition between UAE and Saudi Arabia. It's true. We are actually in competition to lead the real estate market globally. So if Lagos' intention and plan and the government is going toward the international market, then the game changes because you are going to attract foreign investors. And foreign investors first, they need clarity and they understand the vision of the government, which is here already. Secondly, they will need to get trust. They have to have the regulations to protect the investment overseas, and that's very important. The dynamics and the opportunities. Lagos, you have the opportunities. You are one of the fastest growing markets in Africa. You have actually one, as per Knight Frank report, which was issued in May, you have one of the highest rental yields today, which can reach up to 10%. Such numbers for me as investors are great, but I would like to know how can I invest? What regulations can protect me to come to this market, understand it well, get proper data, proper numbers from the government that are certified, and to be able to do our own due diligence, which is a challenge at this moment in Lagos to get credible numbers to understand the market, so we build our visibility on that. Secondly, create regulations. The gentleman before, he said amazing things about trusting accounts, escrow accounts, creating those mediation between the investor, the developer, and the government, where the government plays a regulatory role in regulating this fund and making sure that it's secured and invested in the right way. So having the right regulations, opening up to panels like this, and of course having benchmarking.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Key thing I hear from you is data. Data.
I think I want to do my due diligence, so I need to make sure I have access, clear access and credible access to information so I create my data. Let's be clear, like when I'm funding, it's not always I'm funding myself. Sometimes we present big funding in groups. So it's not just me to like the project. I have to sell this data to someone else. I have to have a very clear visibility study that is sellable. So we can go and grow and definitely have credibility.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Next question to Honorable Jeffrey. All right. I think you're the CEO of the Real Estate Agency Council. Am I right, sir? All right. So, question is this: why is regulation of real estate brokerage and agency critical to market credibility? And what happens if this layer is ignored? I'm throwing this question to you because the body that is organizing this event is LASRERA. And one of the key, if not the key, roles that we mandated of is to regulate agents and property players in the market. So what's your take on this and your Ghanaian experience?
Thank you very much for the question. Hello? So thank you very much for your question. So I'll tell you about what we've done in Ghana and in the year 2020, Act 1047. And the reason why they established the regulatory body was we noticed that people were just doing anything in that space. Clearly, people were being duped, a lot of illicit behavior in terms of money laundering and all that. And Ghana being a very emerging market, we noticed that a lot of people want to do business in Ghana. We had red flags of anti-money laundering as well in Ghana. So we're forced to establish the Real Estate Council. Now this council is one, to protect investors, to ensure there's a very strong code of ethics, and also to ensure that people are not behaving, using bad behaviors, taking people's monies and ensuring that we can't find it. So what we're doing as a regulator is to make sure that first of all, we're building a data line to ensure that all the people in that space are registered with us, so that if people have issues with people, they can come to us and we can track them. Now we're building stronger code of conduct in that space as well. We're also making sure that people are reporting their sales and purchase agreements with us. So clearly you can see that there are stronger regulations that we are building back home to ensure that people from Nigeria and all across the world, when they come over to Ghana, they are protected. So the essence of this, and that's why I'm here, is we've learned a lot of best practices from India and across the world, whereby people are even selling on floor plans in terms of like, before they build for you, we want to come up with a concept whereby you put the money in an escrow account whereby you can't even spend the money until every time that you're putting out the structure, you get asked to inspect to ensure that there's value for money. So with your question, it shows that with a stronger regulatory body like what we're doing in Ghana, we're making sure that everybody here who wants to come to invest in Ghana is one, protected, to also know that the regulatory body backed by the government is stronger. So it shows that we're not joking back home in Ghana. We want to make sure that that space is stronger and you can come home to do business there.
Thank you. All right. Next question. I think I will direct this to Mr. Frank Oti, NER Global Ambassador to Africa. For those that don't know, NER as a membership is the biggest real estate professional organization in the world. They have membership of not less than 1.2 million, and they are over 100 years old. I think I should stress it. Mr. Oti, I'm stressing that so that, oh, okay, I thought you were seated already. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Oti, are you good? Okay. So, in your view, what distinguishes real estate regulation in mature markets like North America from emerging markets, and what are the non-negotiables?
So, regulation is supposed to give you clarity on what the expectations are. You come into a real estate market like Lagos, you should understand what the rules of engagement are. You shouldn't be guessing as to what and of course the standard rules of engagement, operations, like in California, for instance, we have what we call escrow companies. These escrow companies, like somebody said, they hold funds in trust for both the buyers and the sellers, so that that money is not mishandled. Real estate agents are totally controlled by the Department of Real Estate. If you ever mess with trust fund, then you lose your license, and you can even go to jail. So there are standards for doing things, and regulations must be clear-cut, and everybody must understand it. That's what the difference between mature markets and emerging markets is.
Thank you. Thank you. Next question is to Dr. Carlos Sosa. Carlos?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome back. Across global cities, what regulatory mistakes most often limit urban growth and real estate investments?
That's a good question. Before I go into details, I would like to explain what my concept of real estate is. Most people look at real estate and realtors as the agents for selling and buying houses. My notion and my view of real estate is like an economy. We are selling, for instance, condominiums in a downtown tower, and we are selling, let's say, 400 units. That means that we are selling 400 ovens, 400 kitchens, 400 bedrooms, 400 units or 600 units of furniture. All that together means that it is an economy. So therefore, developing urbanization and developing real estate, such as what is happening here in Lagos, the Eco Atlantic City, we are looking into the next 10 years, and we will see a great development that will develop into a LED, the local economic development. So I try to explain the